Sweet. Awesome. Addy, thank you, brother.
That's fine. That's all.
Dwayne Collins, how are you, brother?
I'm very well.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Your beard, toileted, attested, and thanks, brother. Get out of here.
We're good to go.
Good to go. Bro, thanks for coming in, man.
My pleasure.
First podcast?
First podcast. You're popping it.
I'm popping. Sweet, man. What have you been up to, bro? What's been happening?
Just juggling life, juggling kids,
Yeah.
juggling businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think ever since I've known you, I've always known you to have a few things on the go. And so talk to me, man. What's the latest? What are you up to?
So yeah, pretty much just hooking into one of my businesses, which is high performance double glazing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much become all consuming, and alongside that, juggling the medical clinic. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll get to that one, mate.
Yeah.
So, cool. So how long, Innoglaze,
Yep.
how long's that been going for?
About 18 months now. So yeah, it's been in the boiler for a little while.
You started as your trade as a glazier, is that right?
Yeah, so that was me at 15
Yeah.
on the broom, and then gone full circle and come back to the original trade,
Yeah.
and going through all the changes in New Zealand with double glazing.
Yeah.
I could see that kind of happening in Australia,
Okay.
and well, Queensland in particular. So 2 years ago, you probably couldn't have done what I'm doing now, but it's now with the energy ratings and everything, we're good to go.
Why? Because it's a necessity now to have those energy ratings, which obviously it's a more expensive cost, is it? And it's pushing the market.
Yeah.
So I'll maybe just let you talk.
No,
So what? Yeah. Why now?
That's really good, because that's the way people are seeing it, that it's going to add more cost. But when it's done right, you don't have to be paying a stupid amount of money. So
Right.
as an example, if you're using a few of the big brands with single glazed, I'm right there with our double glazed. The aluminium's better, the suites and everything are better than what currently is on the local market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Where do you service? So do you supply and fit, or What? Tell me about the business, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so ideally, I just want to do supply only.
Yeah.
But the calling is people want the full cake. They don't want a piece of it.
Yeah.
They want to get the full service. So that's sort of where I've come back around to, is putting together teams and doing install. So my passion is the design and educating.
Yeah.
So educating builders, like your comment on it's going to cost too much, is great, because that's the feeling that is in the market. But yeah, with how I'm doing it and from my previous experience in New Zealand, we can do it affordably.
Cool. So New Zealand boy,
Yeah.
born and bred.
Yep.
North Island or South Island?
North Island.
North. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And when did you come over?
We've been backwards and forwards, my wife and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from a tiny little town called Hawera.
Okay.
So it's tiny.
Give me some perspective, like where, roughly.
So we're on the nipple of New Zealand. It's the west coast, halfway in between Auckland and Wellington.
Right.
So you kind of have to go out of the way to get there.
Yeah.
But we've got a mountain that's right on there. You can snowboard in the morning and then surf in the afternoons.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Do you do both?
I'm crap at surfing.
Yeah.
But I used to live for snowboarding.
Yeah.
That was me. When I met my wife, it was, if you don't learn to snowboard, you won't see me in the winter.
Right.
Because that was my thing. So
Yeah.
living here, obviously, I don't get to do that as much anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. So moving back and forth quite a bit. How many times have you done that?
I think 3 times.
Holy shit, man. That wouldn't be easy, right?
Well, it's not easy on the wallet.
No.
Because we were full set up. Containers, backwards and forwards.
Okay.
Yeah, commitment.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And so here to settle now, you think?
100%, yeah. I when last time I went back to New Zealand, it was like, get me back home. And it was the first time I'd said home for
really, for Australia?
Yeah. So, and
what is it? What was it? Why?
Yeah,
That's a big call, man, from a Kiwi.
it is, yeah. It just is, you know, you put your roots down. I don't know. It's just the feeling of the Gold Coast. Originally, I found it really overwhelming.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came here, I was like, you know, you should have taken me to Vegas. Like, it would have been the same.
Yeah. What year? Sorry, did you come to Gold Coast?
Man.
Or roughly?
I'm so bad with years. Like, 08 or something?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So...
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Little town boy coming to the big city. So overwhelmed.
Yeah, man, I hear you. Yeah, cool. And so... And this time, back, how long since you've been back this time?
So 2016 is when we made the final decision, which was a heavy decision, but one we both said, this is it.
Yeah.
Haven't regretted it at all. That was when I started my first company, Dash.
Okay.
When we came back. We'd sold a bit of land back in NZ and I invested into that.
Yeah.
So,
what's that? What was Dash?
So Dash was more of like a maintenance and glass, like showers and just dabbling in like the frameless side of things. Yeah.
Man, I did some glazier work there for a while. I reckon I've fucking done every job, man, under the sun, eh?
Yeah.
Like when I step back and look at it, I should write it all down one day. But for a period of time there, I can't remember when it was. It was it was like a transition thing. I was like, fuck, I need work. And I always would just like pick up a phone and just like, or whatever I'd say, I'd just call someone, just go, do you need any, like, I'm looking for work, do you need help? Like, and I'd always just get work.
Yeah.
Always. And so once there was like a company down at Currumbin, and I started working with these guys, and they were pretty rough, but fuck, man, like the one thing that I probably misunderstood about glass is how heavy it is.
Yeah.
Working with and moving, installing, and obviously there's the safety aspect of it too. Yeah. Like you got to be so careful, obviously, if it falls on you or whatever, or if you're working with it, like
she bites,
and it's but heavy, bro. Like I really don't think people understand how heavy it is. Like,
you like giving some jobs to builders now that's double glazed.
Yeah.
And then complaining about the weight, and I'm like, well, that's a you problem. Like I'd turn up to site, you're going to give us a lift. I was like, I've done 25 years of that.
Yeah.
Like I can show you how to lift it properly so it doesn't feel heavy.
Yeah.
Because there are certain ways to do it, but I mean, I'm looking at investing in a little crane that I can supply to them, and because everyone wants bigger than normal now. Yeah, that's the way everything's designed.
Yeah, so, true.
Yeah, I mean, when we were lifting in Auckland, but we were with Samoan boys, and like we'd throw it around, have competitions, and that's good.
Yeah, man. We did, like, again, another one of my, I did my apprenticeship as a chippy, and I worked on the projects out at Sovereign Islands, and I actually worked for a Kiwi builder, and I learnt so much, man. Like, I feel like, how I sort of put it, I think maybe because New Zealand's smaller, you come to a bigger place like Australia, everyone specialises. Like, so that this chippy will just specialise in this chippy will just specialise in this. Over there, if you're a builder, you fucking do everything. Yeah. And so working with them, it's got the best hands-on experience for, like we installed, like they got it all out of China, but they had these, they were triple glazed, copper cladded, like hand-beaten copper cladded, on one of the big colonial houses out there, and that house stretched across 4 blocks, and I can't remember how many windows. Like it was a monster. Like, and some of the, I think, man, like one of the actual centerpiece windows in the turret was about 12 meters high, like a big curved arch thing. Yep. And but working with those guys, like the Kiwi guys, the experience and just the versatility that we learnt. And then fucking glass, like the weight and all that sort of shit. I remember we had to use like little mini cranes and little pulley systems to fucking lift stuff up. And yeah, man, it's crazy.
I'm probably not in the right place to be saying Kiwis are better, but yeah, like our trades in New Zealand are very involved.
Yeah, right.
You're a builder, you cover everything.
Yeah.
And then, nothing's really separated.
Yeah.
And then with my glass trade, I was very blessed. I managed to go over so many different things, like working on $40 million super yachts and just all sorts of weird stuff, frameless jobs, and pretty much everything you could think of, I've done it.
Yeah.
I've been very blessed. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Bro, let's talk about it's Ocular Prosthetics. Oculus Prosthetics. Bro, this is one of the sickest stories, eh? Tell us how this came about, and obviously Google is it an award-winning doco? Is it?
It was part of a series that they put together.
Right.
Yeah, called Search On.
And it's an amazing documentary, hey? Like I've seen that fucking thing, and like, what was the budget for that? Like,
yeah, it was just throwing money at it.
It was up there.
Yeah,
bro. Tell us about that. Tell us about so as a glazier and that side of business, starting in New Zealand, doing that and then coming over, how did you get into Oculus Prosthetics?
Yeah, that's a long story.
Let's go, man. Let's fucking do it.
So 2013, I was flying backwards and forwards because I was on oil rigs, got into that, and my daughter was born in 2013, firstborn.
Yeah.
And you, as a first-time parent, you're all excited, as you know, and you have all these unknowns. But when she was born, it was like her eye was bruised and we couldn't see it properly.
Right.
So
at birth.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked to the midwife and we're like, "What's going on?" And she was like, "It's probably just from birth coming out." And
so was it like black here, or was it just the actual eyeball?
So just the socket was closed in.
Right.
And when we finally got home, I put her on the changing bed in the window.
Yeah.
And I put her head into the sunlight.
Yeah.
With that eye, and she didn't do anything.
Right.
And then I opened it up and I could see it was kind of all white.
Right.
Then we were like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
So that kind of started and kicked off, multiple appointments. And because at the time, what the condition that she has was so rare, she was one of the first in the world that was documented, put into medical journals. But when I look back at it now, she was just handed around specialists so they could all see her.
Yeah.
It wasn't to help us.
Right.
It was for their benefit.
Right.
As first-time parents, it was pretty overwhelming. And she then required, as we learnt what was going on, conformer, which pretty much at the time was clear, but it fills the socket. So as she's growing, her socket grows with her.
Right.
Yeah. So that was the beginning of Oculus, really, because the journey started with that.
And so from newborn to sort of like all these appointments, and like what sort of period of time before you sort of, well, tell us what happened next. Like, so because you started to learn how to come up with a solution for her.
Well, what the trade or specialty is called is an ocularist.
Right.
And they make prosthetic eyes.
Right.
So that's who we were seeing up in Brisbane, a gentleman called Trevor, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
And he kind of said to my wife and I, he was like, which one of you is going to put this thing in and out?
Right.
And I just put my hand up. I was like, I can't do anything else for my daughter. I'll do that.
Yeah.
So that for me was my giving as much as I could. Emotionally, I was gone. And
how old was your daughter?
I think she got her first one at about 2 months.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So very small. Like we've got her container of eyes.
Yeah. Right.
And like they're getting changed every 2 weeks, sort of thing. So I was coming back from work on the rigs, and then going to the appointments.
Yeah.
And then I slowly started watching and seeing what he was doing, and I was like, man, this is really interesting. So that like sparked my interest, and that was a reason why we moved back to New Zealand, was because we're Kiwis.
Yes.
We don't get any.
Oh yeah, health support, health benefits.
Yeah. So that was our first.
Right.
What was actually our second move back, but because of her, we decided to go back.
Yeah.
And then we had to find all the specialists, and my wife is a bulldog. Like she knew more about my daughter's conditions than any specialist in the world.
Wow.
That was her thing, was just jumping on Google, Dr. Google. That can be a good thing or a really bad thing.
Yeah.
But for her, it really worked, and she can tell a specialist more than what they'll ever know about her conditions, which is great. But yeah, then we had to go through all the finding specialists. Well, my wife did, and then finding another ocularist. So that's when the journey became really rough for us.
Right. So you had to find another ocularist in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And because she's obviously growing, and you had to get new ones. Is that why?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how often would you have to, because you would upsize them, no doubt, right?
Yeah. So she was every 2 weeks at the beginning. Then as she got older, it just got a little bit longer and longer and longer. She's
every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A new size,
Yeah, she was very blessed when I took over eventually.
Yeah.
Wow. I was able to keep that up.
And so what happened? So the eye socket doesn't grow correctly if you don't keep the size up. Is that right?
Yeah. That's a really sad thing about our health, with NDIS, and those people should be looking at these as a medical device. They see it as cosmetic and won't fund it.
Oh, wow.
So John, who's my mentor and trained me in the UK, and I have done case studies to prove and show that it's needed. So if you don't have something in there, it will collapse.
Yeah.
So let alone cosmetically for your brain.
Yeah.
On the psychological side of things, would you let your kid, or would you walk around without a prosthetic eye?
Wow.
So NDIS will throw as much money as you want at psychologists and talking about your problem, where I can sit with a client over 3 days when I make their eye and pretty much help them through all this trauma and stuff, and give them a device at the end of it that they can walk out with, be proud of, and feel semi-normal.
Yeah.
So that for me is the most frustrating and sad thing about. We've kind of gone off.
No, bro, no, we haven't. This is what it does, man. It goes off. Go with it.
So it's led me into this other world of medical from being a rig pig at the time.
Yeah. So and the documentary that Google did on you literally has documented your story, because first you went, wow, okay, this is something that my daughter needs, and I can't find a good enough supply for it. And then you've literally gone onto YouTube, taught yourself how to build a prosthetic eye. Yeah. And it's glass, right?
Well, it's medical grade acrylic.
Okay. Similarities though, did you find any similarities with?
No, that's what everyone says. Oh, you're a glazier. They used to be made out of glass. They were blown,
right,
back in the day. They still are in Europe. So, there's no real similarities. I'm not artistic at all. Yeah. I just had the need to learn. Yeah. Had the best motivation in the world. Yeah. From our appointments in New Zealand, and a few things that happened there, that was my wife walked out crying. I walked out really angry, and it was a 4-hour drive home. And I was just going over and over in my head. And I was like, these dickheads, they're just human like I am. Yeah. Why are they special? They're not doing anything special for my daughter. Yeah. So in the appointments, if I'm interested in something, I'll pull everything to pieces. Yeah. If there's a soundboard and I want to know how it works, I'll pull it apart. Yeah. Try to get it back together. So that's what I'd been doing since she was going to these appointments, was just sneakily watching. And then I jumped on YouTube when I got home. Yes. And that's where I found John in the UK. So he was the chief trainer at Mooresfield Eye Hospital. Right. And had his own private clinic and was running courses at Nottingham Trent University. So I was watching a few of his little short videos, which were missing stuff, but were filling enough gaps from what I didn't know to be able to start. So I had, across the road on the farm, I had a friend who was an engineer with CNCs and stuff. Right. So he helped me design up molds and stuff, and put all these tools together so that I could start making. So I was flying to Australia, working on oil rigs while my time downtime on the rigs, I was running through everything. Then I'd come home and then start putting things together. So it'd be like 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Bro, you're giving me goosebumps, man.
Yeah.
That's so awesome, man.
Yeah, it was a funny journey.
Funny, bro. It's so inspiring, man. Like, and so working with John.
Yep.
Yeah. And to then, when did you actually, like, when did it sort of commercially start for you? Like, how did that process work? So you started creating the eyes for Liberty for your daughter, and then how long, like, did it take before you went, well, there's a market here, I can help people?
Yeah, so the idea was never, and never has, and never will be, I'm not ever going to be rich from doing this.
Yeah.
I still do as many as I can for free, in particular kids.
Right.
It was 2016, I think I finally, so Liberty would have been around 3. So I think she was about 2.5 when I finally walked inside, said to my missus, I think this is the one. And she was like, if you think so. And she's like, looks pretty good. So we put it in, and she was like, that's probably the best one she's had.
Wow.
But when I look at that one now, I'm like, holy crap, it's a piece of shit.
Model. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they always are though, mate,
Yeah.
right? Like the first of everything you do. So, and what were the risks at the time of like fucking that up?
Yeah, there's so much damage you can do if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's where my brain goes, even with oil rigs.
Right.
When we're drilling, my brain goes to what's happening down the hole,
Yes.
not what's happening up here.
Yeah.
Like, why are we putting this chemical in? So
Yeah.
as a derrickman, I was putting all these chemicals in. I would go to the mud doctor in between and be like, hey, what's this one doing?
Yeah. Right.
And that was the same with the socket. So even now when I look at someone's socket, I'm thinking about everything that's going on in there, what's restricting movement. We need to get as most motility as possible. So, yeah, there's certain things, even back then, I was so cautious of, and I knew because of watching the appointments and just studying. And there's still bad things happening in the industry with people thinking they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very cautious and I'm very blessed. And it's not often now that I'm stumped, but back when I commercialised and went to Oculus, I was able to call John, like have a client. And I've always, in business, my biggest thing is just be honest.
Yep.
If something's going to be late, a delivery or anything, just ring them. Like,
Yep.
it's going to happen either way.
Yep.
So with the medical side of things, if I don't know something, I'll say to you, hey, something's going on. I'm not sure what it is, but I have the best person in the world.
Yep.
I'll give them a call. We'll take some photos. So, yeah, it's high risk if you don't know what you're doing.
And so your business now, tell us about that business. What's that called? The Oculus
Prosthetics, yeah.
Is that what it's called? Is that the name of it? Right. So is the actual item, is that, or the industry, is it Oculus Prosthetics as well? And is that?
No, so I guess you'd call it ocularistry.
Right.
And the person who makes them is an ocularist.
Right, I'm with you.
And then Oculus means eye.
Yes.
And then prosthetics. So I just put the two together, Oculus Prosthetics.
I see what you did there, mate.
Yeah, creative.
Yeah.
Real creative.
Right, no, it's great, man. It says what it is. Wow. And, oh, man, I could just imagine, like, and you obviously, that's probably why you do it, a lot of it, like, you advocate for those people because you can empathise with what they've been through or what they're going through, like, and, yeah.
Yeah, I'd made Liberties, then we decided to move back
To Australia.
Yep.
Yep.
And that was a big decision because of all her health issues. So she's not only her eyes, but she's got cerebral palsy and ADHD and a whole heap of things. So it was a big call to come back.
Right.
But we decided to sell up and come back again.
Yeah.
And a family whose daughter had cancer, she was the same age as Liberty in 2016. They contacted me. I don't know how they heard about me.
Yeah.
And they just said, she's had the eye removed. We've been to ocularist and she's had really bad appointments. Would you see her? And I was like, hell no. Like, I'm making them for my daughter.
Oh, wow.
I said, medically, I don't know what the law is or rules. And they just kept coming back to me, begging me. And then I looked into it more and more, and turns out there's no actual training. There's no, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but there's no official training. There's no clinical practices. There's nothing for ocular artistry. And we're designing, manufacturing and fitting prosthetic eyes. So when I found that out, I was like, okay, let's get together, because she's autistic and she didn't like men. So we had a couple of problems. So I just met them like every weekend.
Yeah.
And I'd just sit at the table, we'd have coffee at a cafe, and I'd only look at her, or she looked at me, and then eventually she come and sat next to me and put her arm around me, and I didn't even notice. And her mum looks over and she was like, "Oh my God." And she was like, "It's go time." I'm like, okay. I was like, oh man, what am I doing? So we then ended up making her eye, and I found out that her surgery, her implant that they'd put in was sitting really, really badly.
Right.
And because of my past experience, medical for me, I didn't have a lot of time for it. So it was a professor who had done the surgery.
Right.
And I rang him and I said, "Hey mate, this surgery you've done's wrong." And he was like, "Who the hell are you? Who are you to tell me?"
Yep.
I said, "Well, I'm telling you right now that implant is sitting in her nose, and there's a heap of room out at the side, and it's not in the centre." So we referred her on to another professor, and he done some MRIs, and which never happens, he sent on my phone the photos of the MRIs, and he was like, "Hey Dwayne, turns out that you're right, and she needs a revision." And from there, it's just been a big journey that's just built and built and built. So from that's when I was like, okay, I'm meant to be doing this.
Yeah.
And that's when I messaged John on Facebook, just cheeky. I was like, "This is what's going on with me. Would you be interested in training me?" He's like, "If you can get over here, I'll train you."
Wow.
So and then from that is when somehow Google sneakily got in touch with me. It was through a reporter. She rang and she was like, "Oh, I've just heard that you're up to this." And I was like, "Man, I'm going to get so much shit. Like, I'm going to get sent out of Australia." So, yeah.
Good on you, bro. Good on you, man. Fuck, a dad just helping his daughter, eh?
Yeah, you do anything, don't you?
Bro, you give me goosebumps, man, telling this story. Far out. No wonder Google did this story. Oh, man. And what about, how many, are you allowed to talk about how many eyes you've done?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So are you sort of like holding back? Like, is there like stuff you sort of can and can't say? Like,
from a business point of view, I'm holding myself back.
Yeah.
As in growth.
Yeah.
Like I haven't advertised. I haven't gone and seen a surgeon. Surgeons will call me.
Yeah.
And it's just word of mouth. And
are you allowed to endorse yourself and your business and advertise that you are a ocularis?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how deep I should go on this, because it's a real taboo subject within the industry, because of the no training, and like they say they're self-regulated. None of them talked to each other before I came along. Websites were all shit. Because of Google, mine got built out by my brother's friend. My website become like a Rolls Royce, and we had the Google videos and stuff. I can update for the next 20 years if I want to with the content and stuff. But the industry needs to change, and I'm just time poor
to fight it
with Innoglaze growing, and it's also not only making the eye, it's real heavy, like psychologically, because I'm sitting with people who have gone through maybe like a really bad trauma, or they've just had cancer. I'd cry with my clients. It's heavy, and I just sometimes I walk away and I'm like, holy crap, I have to go to the gym, reset, and then come back to it.
So there's obviously like a big need. Like, do you have any sort of indication on like what market's probably the wrong word, but like how big is the market for it that people need like this service, like, or these prosthetic eyes? Like,
it's really strange,
is it?
I've got 197 clients. I checked the other night. I was like, oh, probably got 100. Then I was like, oh, 197.
Wow.
And I have a retention of like 99%.
Yeah.
So I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
And the one thing we experienced with my daughter was she'd end up with a marble in her head, like way too big, and it was like, see you later.
Yeah.
How can you be okay with leaving my daughter like that? Like that's bullshit. We got a photo of Christmas, and I hated the photo, and her eyes huge and looking out here.
Right.
I was like, I'll never leave a client like that ever. I've made clients 2-3 eyes because they haven't been happy. You're not always going to make everyone happy. That's something I've had to teach myself because I'm my own worst critic.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very particular. If with the pupil, if you're half a mil off, you'll notice it.
Yeah. Wow.
So when I'm measuring stuff, it's like thousandths
Yeah.
of a millimeter.
Yeah.
It's a something that my wife is like, you could grow as much as you want, but mentally and emotionally right now, I'm not there. Yeah.
So that's what's stopping you for mentally, emotionally, and pushing into Oculus Prosthetics. That's what's stopping you?
Yeah, I mean, on average, I'm doing 1 a week.
Yeah.
I won't do any more than 2.
Yeah.
So, and the reason I won't do any more than 2 is I want my client to get all of me.
Yes.
And all of my skill.
Yeah.
I don't want to be rushed like I am rushed currently with everything that I'm doing.
Right.
But yeah, if I was doing anything more than 2 a week at the moment with everything else, I'm not serving my client.
And so they don't get any sort of health benefit from doing or getting prosthetics. Is that right? Is that?
Yeah. So let's say you have a work accident.
Yeah.
Work cover will cover that first eye.
Yes.
Then after that, but you're thrown into the public system, which is a 6 to 12 month wait. And that's when I get quite a few of them will come and see me and say, hey, and I'm too cheap, and I know I am as far as my costing goes, but a lot of people, they have their own journey and their own things they share with me that used to really impact me and my pricing. So I'd be like, man, that's a crap story, $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I'm just undervaluing myself, and it's not fair to my family now.
Yeah. So
I'm able to keep my prices down below what everyone else is for other reasons that I won't go into. But I help as much as I can. If I've got someone from, pre-COVID, I was having people come from all over the world to see me.
Wow.
So, Germany, the Middle East, and that in itself is heavy too, because it's not like someone local you can say, hey, it's not quite right, come back. So through COVID, that obviously stopped.
Yeah.
And it's starting to pick up again now. Get a lot of interstate clients, and I just move everything in my week if someone has specific dates that are coming out from somewhere else.
How long does it take to make one? What is you meet with someone, you have take me through it. Like, how does it, take me through it, tell me, okay. Don't tell me the secret sauce, but just, break it down.
Welcome to my clinic. So day one, we'll start, and I always tell them, let's start as early as possible, because the part they don't see is when they leave, I'm up till 8:30 at night, cooking and stuff. So basically, day one, I'll sit with them. I design my clinic that's completely open.
Yeah.
I've got no secrets. If you can figure out how to do it like I did, more power to you.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm not going to hide anything.
Yeah.
So my client gets to sit, and quite often they've been getting them for 50 years and they've never seen how it's made.
Right.
So they'll sit with me. We'll take an impression of the socket.
Yeah.
So that gives me the interior of the socket, but the anterior of the implant.
Right.
Then I make a mold from that then from that plaster mould, I fill that with special wax.
Yes.
And that I build that up, the anterior part, and I'll make it too big.
Yeah.
And then I'll put that in the socket once I've shaped it to what I think.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I make it too big, and then I start marking it and shaving it. So I want to get it as symmetrically as the other side as I can. And if their surgery's been bad or they had a bad injury, like, let's be realistic, it's not going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
So that's a 3-hour appointment. I'll do a bit of painting and sizing of the iris.
Yeah.
And then I'll fit that into the wax. So we'll mark center. I'll put that into the wax model, and then we'll center that up so it has a little stem.
Right.
And that ensures that we're getting the gauge right. Then I'll weld that into place, and then that's pretty much their part done. And they'll go away. Then I'll make another set of molds, and it's called the lost wax technique. So I'll make another set of molds that are half and half of that.
Yes.
And that wax, after the mold's made, gets thrown away. Hence the lost wax technique. So then I'll put that into the oven it's an acrylic dough that gets compressed to 3,000 psi, gets cured over a few hours.
Yes.
And then that night, I'll shave all that back, so that's white, completely white with the painting that I've done on the iris. I'll shave all that back so it's flat, so I'm able to paint on it and then add all the veins and everything the next day. So it used to take me about 2.5 hours to paint it, hand paint it, and add the veins. Now I'm probably like an hour.
Wow.
And I never thought I'd get to that point.
Yeah.
I'd watched John painting when I was over training with him.
Yeah.
So you do a colour and then a clear.
Yes.
And you build it.
Right.
So that gives it depth.
Yes.
And like if I was to give you the paintbrush, I'd say put the clear on. You put the clear on and it'll wipe all the paint off. And there's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
It's something about the timing of watching John doing it when I was learning. He'd just do it. And that's what I'm like now. And then I'd be like what you would do.
Yeah.
Put it on and then it just wipes all the paint off.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is it doing that?
Yes.
And I can't tell you why.
Yeah.
It's just something about the timing now.
Right.
So, yeah. And then the following day when I do the enhancing, like is the full-on painting, that takes me an hour, maybe an hour and a half. My client sits with me and I have all different lights. So I have the natural light. I have like a white light, an orange light.
Yeah.
And that's just because everyone walks around in different lights. And different
to see how it looks?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because everyone's eyes change in different lights.
Yes.
So that's the hardest thing. And then when I put clear back over it, that brings more light in. So I have to allow for that as well. Yeah.
So you're trying to emulate exactly, roughly. Yeah, like, because no two eyes are perfect, right?
Pretty much most of the time they're the same.
Yeah? Except Misha the other night at poker, right? Like you see his eyes, he's got 2 different coloured eyes.
I didn't even notice that.
Didn't you notice that?
There's too much smoke in the room.
Yeah. Right, he's got a blue and it's almost like a black eye.
Okay.
Yeah, anyhow. He's how many of those guys are there though?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But even size-wise, surely, like, because our bodies aren't symmetrical, right? Like, you have, like, so are the eyes a little bit different as well? Like the eye sockets, surely they're a little bit different, are they? Or is...
With surgery, they can be very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my biggest thing is the bottom lid is normally like quite lax. If someone's worn a prosthetic eye for 15 years, they always damage. So I'm very cautious when I make an eye that I relieve as much pressure. So if someone's got a droopy top lid, the specialist will say just add some more to the top of the eye.
Right.
But that has a bad effect on the bottom lid. So it's the top lid's pushed up, but it's pulling.
Right, I'm with you.
Yeah, so all those things I'm real overthink it, but in a good way.
What a market, man.
Yeah.
Like, and so do you, okay, so are you not looking to scale it? You mentioned before mentally, emotionally is a reason, but then are there like regulations? Like, is it both of those? Like, or is it just mentally, emotionally that it's...
What I done shouldn't be allowed.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a prime example of it happening right now with a guy that's trying to do what I done. So the industry's lucky that I'm who I am and I'm passionate. I need to know everything about everything.
Right.
And it needs to be regulated.
Yep.
And we need to have things in place.
Are you pushing to have it regulated? Like, are you a voice in that community?
No.
Are you welcome in that community?
No.
You're not?
No. I've had some shit things happen to me.
Really?
And yeah, I have 98% of people would have done the opposite of what I done. I decided to keep my mouth shut, and just let my work
Speak for itself.
And let my client speak for me. There's been multiple occasions where, like, my wife and I have just been, this isn't worth it, like, for what we're doing. And because people don't see the emotional side and what I go through, and if I've made an eye that I'm not quite happy with, I've learnt to keep my mouth shut now. I used to give my client the eye, and I'd be like, oh, we could change this, and they're completely happy with it. And that's just my perfectionism.
Yeah.
So yeah, the journey's been really hard, and something that I will push into more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have multiple opportunities, and if I wanted to expand for more money and more growth, then I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it shouldn't be allowed, what I've done.
Yeah.
And I'm a voice for that. I'll sit in front of all of them and say, you should not be allowed to do what I've done.
Yeah. 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 Well, that's right. If it's not done right, as you say, like it's your eye, like it's so close to your brain and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like I've watched my stepdad slowly, he's had trauma to his eye, and it's been this continuous back and forth. He's from Vanuatu, but he has to fly over and get treatment. But it's to a point now where it's pretty much gone, and it got after he had multiple surgeries. And my wife could go right into it, exactly what happened, but I was sort of from afar from it. But it ended up getting infected, and then just slowly they're just, he's lost it. But I think he's going to keep it now, and his sort of eyes just closed over a little bit. But yeah, man, like I see firsthand the mental emotional effect that has. Yeah, like I've seen it in him. Yeah, and it's mega, man. Like it's your eye, right? Like it's
such a personal thing. Like I'm an introvert, and I like even sitting here, like I'm forcing myself to look you in the eyes. Right. Where because of what I've been doing now, like I hated eyeballs before. Like I had a thing about them, but I've been like forced into it. So now for me to look someone in the eye, I'm like semi-relaxed about it. Right. It's not a confidence thing. It's just, I don't know. But yeah. I remember doing the first impression and just being like, and that was on camera. Right. With John, because Google caught up with me. They flew from somewhere on the other side of the world. And they'd rung me, Nick, the director, and he was like, we're just wondering what you're up to and if we can come and film. And I was like, okay, I'm currently in London. And I said, I'm going to have to ask John. So I said to John, this is what's going on. And they turned up and it was a truck. And we're in this tiny little clinic and they just filled it with cameras and like probably 5 or 6 people. And John's Scottish and he's like going off his head. I was like, well, at the end of the day, mate, I'm paying you to train me. So to convince him. But yeah, it was a journey from there with Google, just the film crew. Yeah. Like Nick, we're heading to America at the end of June and we're trying to tee up meeting up with him. Like we've stayed friends and
that's cool.
He's such a legend, such a talented human. Yeah. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, man. That doco, I'll see if I can feature a bit on here. And it's incredible, man. Like it's blown away when I seen that. It's man, I just can't help think, man, like how many parents and people must be in that same position that you're in. And far out, man. I feel like I just want to get in there and help you with your business and just like, who are these fucking other guys?
Yeah.
Like,
it's pretty heavy. It's like I've got families from all over the country with young kids, and I tell them, I say, I choose the child based on the parent.
Okay.
And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, it's not a nice journey, and I'm giving my time up for you to help.
Yeah.
And if you emotionally can't handle what we're going to go through, like, I'm never going to put your child into any pain, but there's going to be screaming because they don't know what's going on. Like my wife and I with Liberty, my wife would lay her down on the ground. My wife would put her head between her legs, and then I'd sit on top of Liberty and pin her arms between.
Oh, man.
And that was just to get her eye out.
Oh.
And then to get her back
man.
in. And it's just screaming. Not every child's like that, though.
Yeah.
But that's the way it can go.
Yeah.
And
instinctively, they'd just be like reacting like, yeah.
It's a scary thing. And when I have a child, I book the day out. So there's no pressure on anyone.
Right.
So if I was back to back, I'm not going to serve that child the best that I can.
Yeah.
I'm able to say, hey, this shop's down the road. Go chill out, reset, come back. And at any point, if you're uncomfortable, just let me know.
You're a saint, brother.
Yeah.
Far out.
It's heavy. It's a heavy thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. What I don't know, man. Like, what do you want to change? Are you gonna what do you want to change about it? If you could, like, what would you change about the industry and everything? Like, obviously, man, you have this desire which came from helping your daughter, and which now you seem like an empathetic dude, and you are, like, you're helping all these people that have this same problem. You're like, fuck, I can help, I can serve these people with what I know, and you obviously are. What do you think needs to change?
Probably funding, realistic funding.
Yep.
So the issue we've got is if NDIS seriously looked at this, and I'm 100% I'm there, I'll help, I'll guide them through everything. What I don't want to see happen is what's happened with every other medical part of NDIS, is taking advantage of the system. So an eye right now, most of the other guys are charging $2,550 for an eye.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit less than that. And what will happen as soon as that gets funded, $5,000, where that doesn't need to there's no reason at all why that needs to go that way. Right. So my daughter wears AFO, like leg splints. Mm-hmm. They're $5,000 a pop. Mm-hmm. And then we've just looked at specialist ones that are $20,000. And that's like where my brain's going for the next mission is, these guys, obviously they have to specialise in it and everything, and there's ways of manipulating what she's got with her legs. Why can't I do that? So we've had a company in Germany donate $10,000 worth of carbon fibre for a carbon fibre printer. So
wow. How much is a carbon fibre printer?
I don't know. A friend owns one. He's a wizard too. So yeah, there's these things medically. Funding should be there. Yeah. I feel even if the health system said we'll fund half of what the current price is right now. Yes. At least that brings in 90% of the people that are like, I can't afford it. At least they'll be getting their eye, because you need to get one every 4 or 5 years. Yeah, and okay. The reason being, it's the same as dentures. Our body goes through changes. Right. Your dentures don't fit, your socket's the same. Yeah. And they're putting up with discharge and irritation and stuff because of it. But yeah, so that's at the minimum, I reckon that would be a huge help, is just half funding. Yeah. Have you gone down that road? Like, have you explored how that becomes a possibility? Like, before COVID, I was talking with the health minister. Yeah. And all we got thrown back was, this is how it is right now. It's like, nothing in the world's going to change with that attitude. Yeah. Like, let's sit down properly and talk about this. I'll sit my daughter in front of you. I'll take her eye out and I'll let her walk around. and I'll say, you pretend that's your child. Are you happy with that? Or even a female who's mid-age, they're left on their own. Here's as many psychology appointments as you want, but we're not going to fix the core problem. We'll just talk about it. It's insane. So that would be step one, is just part funding it.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Like New South Wales Health is way better than Queensland.
Okay.
So I'm joined with them, and most of the time I can get full funding through with them.
Oh, wow.
And Queensland's, I don't even know how Queensland works. I think it's just the first one.
Right.
Yeah, it's not overly fair.
Yeah.
Like I've got a children's hospital in Sydney, and they want me to go down there, but the loopholes, I'm like, it has to be my price. In my pricing, everything has to be covered, like my flights,
Yes.
accommodation. All I want is I don't want to be out of pocket.
Of course.
I'll give you my time. I'll do a clinic every 2 months or 3 months.
Yeah.
But I'm not allowed in the hospital because I'm not employed by the hospital. But they'll pay me privately, but I'd have to get my own clinic down there, do all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, then my brain's like, maybe I could become employed part-time
and run 2 businesses and be a husband and father.
Yeah, but there's things that I want to do, but it's just having the time to sort them.
So what do you need?
That is a hard one as far as what I need. Yeah, it's.
Do you know what you want? That's a big question too.
Yeah, I just want to help. I want to help people. I want to fill that gap, the gap where people aren't told what to expect. They don't know what the journey ahead of them is. This is with children in particular, and what your expectations as a parent should be, as in our insecurities are put onto our child. So having a clear conformer, and a mother wants their child to look normal, which is your right and is fair. But there's medical reasons why we might not get a painted shell straight away, and it's just expectation. It's a really hard one to navigate with parents, and you have to tiptoe through the tulips when it comes to that.
Yeah, I could imagine, man.
Yeah.
Bro, you need to keep talking about it, man. This is such an amazing message, mate. Like, honestly, you need to, and not that you aren't, like I'm sure you are.
This is the first time I've spoken.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, I need to get you on.
There's things, there's really big things that I could do to help the industry.
Yeah.
And from what I've been through with my wife, from other people over the years, right now I'm like, is it worth it?
The backlash you're getting. Like, where does that come from? Like, competitors?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I've not contacted any of them. I'm the black sheep, and when I say I haven't, but the first time I have was this year, and I just said, I haven't advertised. I haven't been and seen a surgeon. So if you continue, I'll advertise, I'll go see surgeons, and you'll have no business.
Really?
So that's the first time in 8 years I've said anything.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I've said. Yeah.
Usually know you're doing something good, or you're making noise, mate, when you're ruffling some feathers.
Yeah. Ruffling feathers isn't me, though, but that's true.
It is, bro. I tell people you're not really making waves unless you're getting a cease and desist letters from lawyers.
Yeah. They're not pleasant.
No.
Yeah. I've learnt to, with Innoglaze and negotiating in China in particular, is I'll just sit and listen. Like in a room, if I'm in a room like the poker night, I sit and listen, and then I'll jump in occasionally. But it's almost like being a silent assassin. Like you don't need to say anything, not so much in a social situation at all, like take the person. But when you're in business, I've found if you sit, listen, keep your mouth shut and only say what needs to be said, it's heavy.
Yeah.
And then it can also be very disarming in conflict. So the factory that I deal with and got the partnership with, Mr. Jung, he's very straight, flamboyant.
Yeah.
And so we have translators, and my old business partner would talk heaps. And then Mr. Jung, after a meeting, took me aside with the translator and was like, how do you work together? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, he talked too much. I was like, okay. And he goes, when you talk, means everything.
Okay.
I was like, okay. So that for me was a lesson, like, if you can go into something knowing exactly what you're going to say, and can adapt on the move, specifically with medical as well. Like, I feel like God's put me in the Innoglaze business right now to hone my skills for something that's going to happen a bit later that's going to be heavier with medical.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm kind of taking everything in and making the most of it.
How can you help the industry? You said before, like, you think...
Regulate, which is not a word you want to hear, but there's ways of regulating to ensure that it doesn't happen again. And it's happening right now, and some bad things are happening. The people need to be protected from money-driven people. Mm-hmm. And you're talking a direct path to your brain, so that in itself is pretty important. Yeah. So, regulating, when I say regulate, like we should have ISO, which I've looked into, and it's something that I'm passionate about, and the fact that they'll come in and audit me in my clinic, will create full processes. So cleanliness, they'll say, as I'm doing each part of the process, it's documented, mm-hmm. and why I'm doing that, the machines I use, making sure I'm doing everything in between that. So it's like a consultation that they audit me and we make it better. Like, that to me is a good investment. Mm. And then what that means is you need to be up to that standard. So creating a standard that the industry needs to stay at. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you teach? Like, can you jump on YouTube and just go, I don't condone people doing this, but you're a product of that, right? And going like, I'm doing this purely because of the flaws and the faults that I see. And if this can help someone who's going to have an attempt, if you don't know, don't try this at home. But like, just help the cause, like help be the solution that you were looking for once upon a time, because you found John. Yeah. Like, what would happen? Where would you be if you didn't find John? You know, like, do you do anything like that?
I have people every week from all around the world contacting me. Yeah. I want you to train me, and my first question is why. Right. What's your why? Yeah. And they have to have a really good why. Yeah. They have to have an experience. They have to have a child. Until I find that person, as far as training goes, that's probably not something I would do. You're
concerned they'll exploit the industry.
Yeah.
And just for the money and...
Yeah. Because there is good money in it. If you're like, I was probably one of the first in the world to do a fun eye, like a party eye.
Oh, yeah. I thought that'd be a thing.
Yeah, I do. Like, I done one yesterday.
Did you?
And I'm doing the second one for him. So.
What is it? What's the eye?
So it's he's got like light brown eyes.
Yeah.
And we're doing I done a bright gold eye for him.
Cool, right.
It looks sick.
Fuck, man, yeah, that's what I'd do. I'd have a big fucking question mark or an 8-ball or something.
Well, I've had him since we were talking about it. Oh, he would have been 12 or something, 14. Now he's 21 or something.
Yeah.
And the last one he's been wearing, I made like a full Louis Vuitton.
Bro.
And he was like...
Of course.
He walked up to me, he's like, you know what this thing's done for me? I was like, what? He goes, the chicks love it. I was like, so he's got a lot of fun out of it.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
What a rad market, mate.
Well, it's cool, but the downside of that is in America, it's a full blown course, like 5 years with points and everything, kind of how the training should be.
Yeah.
And that is hugely frowned upon. And here it was frowned upon too.
To do that course?
To make a fun eye, because it's art. Like, we need to match the eye, and it's artistry, which it is. And my attitude was like, my client's paying for it. Like, if I buy...
So it's frowned upon. Fun eyes are frowned upon.
Yeah, heavily.
Oh, man, this industry needs a fucking overhaul, doesn't it?
Well, the girl in America, she probably seen the doco and then my Instagram. And on Instagram, I've got like fun eyes and all sorts of stuff that I've done. And she just asked me, she was like, hey, what backlash have you had? And I said, I'm a black sheep and my client's paying. I'll do what they want within reason. Yeah. And she said, I'm finishing my apprenticeship and I'm looking at buying this lady out. And I said, well, at the end of the day, it's your clinic. You're still creating a safe eye and your client wants it. So then she jumped on TikTok and she's like blowing up hugely. So that's why I'm getting contacted all the time. Can you train me? And I'm like, why? I've seen it on TikTok. It's cool.
Like, would you like, is it something that you want to pursue like full time? I just feel like, man, this is such an amazing story, bro.
You sounded like my wife.
Really?
You need to be doing this full time,
bro.
Yeah. With Innoglaze, like, I'm putting a lot of passion into that too, in the design aspect. So there's a part of that industry that I'm tapping into, which is the high-end market with oversized sliders and stuff. So I'm designing and engineering and doing heaps of cool stuff. We just done testing in Foshan and that side of it with flush bottom sill, so you don't see any track. Yeah. Just real cool shit. Yeah. So I'm doing all that right now. Like, I had 2 meetings with architects today. So Innoglaze, I don't target builders. Yeah. I target designers and architects. Yeah. And the builders are a byproduct of what I'm doing with the architect. Yes. So I'm filling a niche market within that. That's a high-end product. Yep. And making it affordable, because most of the other companies, they're buying it at $2,400 to $3,000 a square meter. Yeah. And I'm able to sell it around the 1,800. Yeah. And the product's going to be better. So I'm consulting with architects and saying, hey, what's your pain points here? Yeah. We've got the opportunity now to change it and make it amazing. Yeah. So once I get that up and running and you can, it's ticking along. Like, I brought my mate in to help out with that, and that didn't work out. And I've proven to myself I can do it on my own. Yep. And I've got friends who hold me accountable, and that's one really important thing in business, is being able to bounce off. And like, as you know, team. That's a dumb idea. Well, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you tell me it's a dumb idea. Why is it a dumb idea? Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with Innoglaze. And it's like, to me, to make money, it won't be the eyes. Right. So obviously I need to look after my family. Why? Do you have some sort of like, I don't know, like complex, or what? Why do you keep saying that? Like, here we go. I feel like I'm your bloody psychologist here. No, but like, why do you think that? Because I'd probably only do 3 a week, which is good money. It is, but it consumes a lot of time. And if something doesn't go right, and that's why I'm different, is I'll make another one. Yeah. And that's not how it's done in the industry, but come back and we'll do it again, or we'll slightly change what you're not happy with, or So to me, it's not my passion project anymore. Like, I'm heavily involved in it and heavily helping people. So yeah, no, I hear you, man. Do you believe in iridology? Is that your eyes are? Yeah. It's like, reading of the eyes. Yeah. Like I'm probably paraphrasing this from somewhere, but what it is, or the study of the eyes. Yeah. So like your sclera, your
iris and your pupil. So I think your sclera represents your liver.
Yep.
Your iris represents your organs in your body, like all of the different marks or imperfections or things like that. I believe it is Eastern, like Eastern medicine, and they relate and correlate to organs, and then the pupil's the brain.
Yep.
So you obviously don't.
No, I subscribe to a medical magazine, which is all about that.
Right.
I can't say I've read it, but the reason I did subscribe to it was they have special cameras,
right,
that look into to be able to read it properly.
Yeah, bro. Iridology, man. Like it's like literally, it's they'll diagnose you through your eyes, and every little mark and like the different rings through the iris, and it's quite fascinating, man, as most Eastern medicine is. And so you haven't never looked into that?
Not fully into it.
Yeah.
What I do know is, like, you go into Specsavers and they're the first line of anything to do with eyes.
Right.
So they're like the weapon before anything to start sort of, they'll see something. If they know what they're looking at, they'll see cancer in the eye.
Yeah.
They'll see melanoma.
Yeah.
And they refer off to the specialist.
Yeah.
So they, like my mate, he's Indian, and I'm pretty sure they look into iridology and specific.
It's alternative medicine.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely not part of our health system. But bro, what about like all of these different like AI and biogenetic advancements and things that you sort of look into that with eyes and prosthetics, and are you into that?
Yeah. There's a company in Australia that were funded, and they were developing a bionic eye.
Yes.
Which was an implant that connected through to sensors, and when you had to wear glasses, and it would just create like pixelation. Okay. So with advancements right now, I could see, some pretty amazing things happening. I'm not a specialist, but I don't see that would ever be able to replace the retina. Okay. Or the optic nerve is like millions of fibers. So to connect an eye back up, I just don't know.
You never say never, eh? Like in this day and age we're living in now, man, the shit that they're doing.
Yeah, it's like pretty cool.
It's insane.
Yeah, my wife's we had a discussion last night about AI, and she's like, it's so bad. I'm like, for business, it's freaking amazing. So good.
We talk about this, and gosh, my wife is anti as well. There's context now.
There is,
because it's like it's like if you want an answer, it's like saying, oh no, don't use the internet, don't Google something now, go and look for it in a book. It's like, no, there's utility for it, just don't abuse it, and just be mindful of how you use and abuse whatever it is, right? And there's lots of discussion around that, mate, in our house at the moment. But
there's definitely an art to it, learning how to talk to it to get the most out of it. Yeah, that's what I've found. It's bloody brilliant, eh? Yeah.
And I sort of feel like, man, you'll be a go-to guy in that space, right? Like if they're working with ocularis people, ocularists. How do I say that?
Ocularist.
Ocularist. Thank you, brother. Because that's literally what they'll be connecting it to, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll have to make an eye that will get inserted. They'll need an amazing eye, so they'll have to call you, mate.
With a lens and all that.
Yeah. Like that. Do you know what I mean, though? But like, you haven't had that call?
Not yet.
No. Hey, Dwayne, this is what we're doing. We want to put a lens in. We're going to do this and create a prototype.
Like 3D printing is probably the next step.
Right.
In what we do. And there's a lot of people trying, and the results are horrendous.
Are they?
But I have been asked to do a case study on it because of what I've already done. Like I seen it coming years ago. Yeah. And integrate, what's the word? Putting things together from each part of the process, because I don't know how many steps we have within making the eye, like there's 50 or something.
Right.
So actually, each part of the eye, I actually make it. So the pupil, the iris, the lens part at the back. So we paint a disc and then everything gets glued together. So we're making every part. And with 3D printing, being able to put all that together with the color and everything right now, there are printers that are almost capable of doing it. But what they're trying to do is go too far west, and they're trying to scan the socket and then print from that scan, which doesn't work.
Right.
So the most important part of the process is taking that impression of the socket.
Yeah.
Because it kind of pushes, if you get the consistency of what we put in there, if you get that right.
How do you scan the socket? Like, how do you take the impression of the socket? Like, you have to put something in and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a shell with a straw out the front.
Right.
And it's got all holes in it. And then I mix up alginate, which is what they take an impression of your dentures.
Right. Yeah.
Same sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I inject that into the socket, and then that sets, and then I pop it out.
Right.
And that's the foundation for everything I do. So if that's not right, then the eye's not going to be right. So the only job my client has is looking straight ahead and not looking left or right.
When that happens.
So if they look left or right, it washes the alginate out.
Right.
Yeah. So they talk about knocking a kid out for an MRI, and then doing an impression while they're knocked out. But if you're laying down and your eyes rolled back, you're not getting any benefit from taking an impression.
With you.
Yeah. So that was a question a mother rang me and asked, is it worth getting the child put under for an impression? I was like, I would not be doing that just to get an impression.
Yeah, wow.
I won't do an impression on a child until I can bribe them. So if I can give them a packet of M&Ms and they're happy, and we can do an impression and they understand why we're doing it.
Is it painful?
It's not painful. It's a bit of pressure, cold.
Yeah.
And depends what material you use. So that's what happened to my daughter.
Okay.
It was a silicon-based impression material, and that got stuck onto her eyeball.
Oh.
Because her condition is her eyeball just didn't develop in the womb.
Right.
And it's 40% smaller. So it's her actual eyeball, but it hasn't formed.
Right.
So that impression got stuck. The ocularist panicked, and I said to him, hey, can I have a go taking it out? And because she was screaming and squeezing on it, I just said, hey, let's just take her to A&E. We'll get her gassed, and it'll just pop out.
Yeah.
Then the old ego comes in and is like, man, I can't take this child to the A&E.
Right.
And so he just panicked and ripped it out. And that was the day that my wife walked out, and I walked out, and I was like, that's it. So it can be very painful, but if you do it right, it's relatively pain-free. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Far out. What a ride. Yeah. Okay. What else, man?
It's just juggling now at the moment. Yeah. I guess my goal is to get Innoglaze up and running so that I can then focus on doing the big stuff with Oculus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
bro, sounds just like you need funding, man. You need someone to just swoop in there and just be like, almost like with a enterprise view on it. But like, obviously your intention is so good, man. Like you feel like you're almost exploiting the industry by making money out of it.
Yeah.
So people that need help doesn't get good funding. And you're in there just fucking saving the world one eye at a time, basically. But spreading yourself across another business where you can make money, and still being a husband and a father. And
if I could do them for free, I would. Like that would be, if I won Lotto, like I wouldn't retire. I'd just be
doing that,
ticking along in the clinic, helping people. That would be what I'd be doing.
Let's get you a pitch, man. Let's bro. Have you tried pitching this to corporates who have corporate responsibility to serve a community? You've got an amazing story here, bro. You should get this into a pitch. You've got a fucking documentary from Google. Well, that's a good start.
Everyone that's going to invest, they want money, yeah. So
no, not necessarily.
Well, yeah, everyone I've spoken to is like, well, how's this going to make me money?
Yeah, nah, bro. Like, I get that. I get that. It's a different type of. It's not really an investment. It's more like a. It's more a charity, and non-for-profit charity, corporate responsibility. These big corporates making fucking millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, bro. There's an angle there.
I mean, I pitched to Canon,
Yeah,
Australia, with an idea that I had and that I worked on. And it was just bad timing. They gave me thousands of dollars worth of gear.
Yes.
Like Eddie's seen in my drawer, like all this stuff that I don't know how to use properly. But basically what I was doing...
Don't say that on here.
Basically, it was taking a photo of the good eye, photoshopping the iris, and then printing that out. So we were skipping basically a day in my clinic.
Right.
Well, the second appointment.
Yeah.
So an hour and a half. So I could print it, punch it out, and then I had 3M America, their medical branch. Yeah. So they do special tapes and medical grade stuff. So they gave me optically clear tape.
Right.
So I was able to tape that print onto my cornea unit.
Yeah.
And then put that into the eyeball. But Canon went under a massive restructuring at the time, and then I lost all my contacts, and then I ended up with all this free gear. And I was like, what the hell?
Hope they don't come knocking.
Yeah. But, I mean, I've put it to good use.
Yeah, man,
like
of course.
That whole process that I went through is something that would get integrated into 3D printing.
Yeah.
So it's not lost.
Right.
The only problem I had was the paper that we're printing onto would get gloss differential, which is like a rainbowing effect.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just the ink. So that can be solved, but it's just talking to the right person.
Yeah.
So there's I have pitched and got in the door with a few big companies.
Yeah. Okay.
But as far as funding to help me out, and because like ISO is like 15 grand.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I could do it, I would 100% just to help the industry. But it's going to be frowned upon because that every year costs money to keep up. But it holds us accountable.
Yeah.
Like, are we meeting the right standard?
Yep.
Yeah. And ensures that the right people are doing the job.
Who insures it? Who insures now? Don't open that can of worms.
Yeah. If you look at the website, not my website, their website, self-regulated.
Yes.
So previously, none of them talked to each other. Not
the regulators.
Nah, the association.
Right.
Yeah. And since I came along, they've got together and created a website, and that's pretty much who you're meant to answer to.
Right. Right.
I'm still waiting for the phone call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good on you, bro.
Yeah.
What's that quote? Is winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners.
Yep.
You heard that?
No, that's a good one.
Bro, I live by that thing, man. It's so true.
Focus on the mission, not the competition. That's my one.
Fucking A.
Yeah, what I've done is just ignore the shit.
You have to, man.
Yeah.
And the bigger, more waves you're going to create, it's just going to come after you even harder and faster. And you just have to accept that. Like, you hear about like Rogan they're just like, you can't read the comments. You'll fucking go mad.
Yeah.
Don't read the comments. Don't listen to people. Just keep going.
Yeah.
And you know your intentions great and where it came from. And who the fucking questioned that, bro? No one.
Yeah. It's a hard one, holding yourself accountable. And then even with the documentary, I started reading the comments and I was like, from what this is, how could you twist it in such a way?
Yeah.
And it was Joe Rogan. It was like what you just said. I listened to him. I was like, okay, there's heaps of positive shit on there, but the negative ones really hurt. Yeah. And it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You got to keep going, dude. What do you do, man, when you're not doing eyes, fucking glass, traveling to China? Like, what do you do to chill?
Build mountain bikes.
Yeah, I saw that. You're building. I saw you building carbon fiber,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. You're meant to ride them, but yeah.
So, do you ride them? You ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't as much as I should at all. And I've just built my son a sick mountain bike. But for me, the quick thing is the gym. If I can get there twice a week in between everything, just to mentally reset.
Yeah.
Like I always feel better.
When do you train? Like what time of day do you train?
Yeah. It's either after school drop off.
Yeah.
For the kids, I'll drop them off and then shoot to the gym.
Yeah.
Or in between boiling an eye, I'll quickly flick off at like 12:30.
Yeah, man.
At the busy time, unfortunately, but yeah, mentally I have to do that. Otherwise, my brain just goes nuts.
Couldn't agree with you more, man.
Yeah.
Like anyone, I just don't know how anyone can't train. Like I was talking to my mate the other day about it, and not even fit for the physical outcome. It's literally mentally for me. Like it's,
Yeah, like I can get to 100 kilo. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
you're a big lad. Like, what do you weigh now?
I'm sitting at 90.
Are you?
And I'm inside's really bad at the moment. I just got my bloods back and high cholesterol, and
really,
so I need to get my shit together.
I've
been going through a lot right now with Innoglaze and certain things that are happening. So once I've got that out of the way, it's go time.
Yeah, man.
Health's important.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It is, brother.
Yeah.
So mountain biking. Yeah, like obviously that spawned from being a Kiwi. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the mountain over there that you were from. Were you doing it there, or you started doing it when you came over this way?
Well, I used to race BMX when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
And absolutely loved that. Like I'd bike 5Ks to the track.
Yeah.
Go to practice, then bike 5Ks home with my mate. And like you couldn't get me off the bike.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to get my son into it and he's just not interested. I'm like, how can you not want to go on a push bike?
Hey, I think this is a generational thing, man. Because I'm the same. My son's the same. Grew up on it, lived on it. Like the kilometers. I think we rode more than we walked.
Yeah.
And we're on our feet. And now my son's exactly the same.
It's so frustrating.
I feel like there's a small part of me as a dad that I'm failing. I'm just like, my son is just not great on a bike.
I was paying for coaching and everything for him. I was like, please be a genius. But no good.
No interest.
Nah. So I built in the mountain bike and that didn't go well. He screamed the whole way up because obviously it's hard work going up the mountain. But then coming down, he absolutely loved it. And I was like, bro, let's sit down and talk about this. And the second time we went, same thing again. He was screaming. I waited at halfway, and this lady's carrying his bike for him. And I looked at the lady, and I was like, "Don't carry his bike. What are you doing? He needs to harden up." And she's like,
"It's an integral lesson happening right here."
Yeah. I'm trying to dad him. But yeah, he just started jiu-jitsu. So,
bro, same with my son. How old's your boy?
Almost 10.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, he's loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what an amazing sport.
Yeah.
That they can get into, right?
His coach calls it chess. So when you understand what it's all about, and then watching the kids train, is you're not fighting each other, you're helping each other.
Yeah.
And that's just so cool to watch. They had this big boy on him on Wednesday night, and this kid was monstering everyone. And then my son just whipped around, and I was almost like, and I was like, it's not about that.
Yeah.
But this kid was just using his weight. But then when you start understanding it, you're like, okay, this is cool, filling space, and it's sick.
I think it's amazing, and all the little belts, like Teal, my son, he's getting, and he's getting the little stripes and things, and just the whole system. I'm like, he's young. I hope, for whatever, if he sticks with it, if he doesn't, I just hope he does. I'm like, this would be cool if he sticks with this. And he is just into it. And I've been and watched a few classes, and they just do it so well, I think, with little kids, and make it fun, which is so good.
It's a good check out for us as well, taking them there and then just watching.
Yeah.
It was very humbling. I was sitting there and I was trying to do some business calls.
Yeah.
And this dad walked all the way around, come over to me. He's like, "Hey mate, I'm such and such, and I'm just, don't get angry at me, but your son keeps looking over at you." And my heart sunk. So our rule is now, part the ute, phone stays in thing, and then that's our time. So I'll go sit there, crack up laughing and watch him. And when he's looking over at me to see, am I proud? Like, I'm looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a bold move from that dad. What a mad dude.
Oh,
like,
fucking dickhead the next week was on his laptop. I was like, come on, man. I've just created.
Should have just gone up to him and just fucking shut the lid.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good family orientated.
Yeah.
Like the Brazilians and stuff are just
so
cool. It's kind of like the Kiwi culture.
Yeah.
Everyone's together and so cool.
Yeah. Have you thought about doing it with him?
I should show you a photo. My mate's got ADHD. He's an absolute legend. He's got a building company.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about it. And then he sends me a photo of him in the toilet wearing a gi. And he was like, it's go time. Like, when are you coming? I was like, man, I don't know when I have the time. Yeah. Like, I just don't know.
Do you think you'd get into it? Do you think you...
I reckon shit would pop out. Like, I'm not flexible at all. I'll be tapping out every 2 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. I can see the benefits and everything of it. It's awesome. But I'd have to start yoga first.
Man, I just... like, because I've thought about it. And I went to one of my brother's weddings. Not my brother, but one of my close mates. He married, I think, 2 weekends ago. And I was chatting with a dude there. He had the cauliflower ears and everything. And we got chatting, and black belt jiu-jitsu, and his daughter was the same age as Teal, my son, and she did it, and he's just like, oh, you know, we're just talking and stuff. He's like, you should do it with him. And I'm just like, and he sort of like put me on the spot, and he goes, honestly, mate, he goes, it'll be one of the best bonding things that you guys have. And I was just like, oh, and even talking about it now, I'm like, I said to Leonie, I was like, can you check it out for me? And I should do it. I really like, what a thing to share. Yeah. And I remember my thing is fucking just rolling around with sweaty dudes in like the hot summer, and most of these places, I sound like such a bitch, don't I? Don't have.
Oh, they really get in there.
Yeah.
It's bloody personal.
Yeah.
Like he'll be demonstrating on a girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, right. Grapple and tackle. Have you seen that, Key and Peele? Oh, have you seen that?
You have to show me.
I will have to show you. Oh, bro, I will. I'll have to bring it up. Yeah. Anyhow, that's fucking hilarious. It's like his whole karate class is just chicks. Like hot chicks. He's just like doing all these moves, and he's like, sign up for my course, and he's just like, anyhow. Oh,
be all the men in there. Yeah.
He has one guy like comes in, he goes to do it, and it's completely different. Like all of the other ones he's doing, he's like literally just like grabbing on all these women and stuff, piling them on top of him or whatever, and then the dude's there, and he's like, and he pushes him over there.
Him away.
Yeah. Right, I'll show you that. That's, I don't know. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll have to do it.
Yeah.
I have to do it.
Definitely should.
One of my good bros, he comes on and co-hosts with me, Denim. So his elder bro, Kyle, was in the UFC. He was one of the first Aussies in the, the Ultimate Fighter House.
Okay.
And he's quite well known and regarded, especially in Australia.
Yeah.
And he, from what I understand, is sort of moved right into jiu-jitsu, and Denim is right into it as well. Okay. And so when I've gone up there, I've had a roll with him a couple of times. And and when you said before, like chess, it's like chess, right? Fucking, there is so much happening in the most minute detail that you have no idea about. But obviously there's just levels to that shit, right?
Problem solving.
Oh, bro. Yeah. And one of the best workouts though to this day, but rolling with Denim he's 6'4". My other bro, Dave O'Brien, shout out. A big lad too. He's probably 6'2", fucking built, big burly dude. Yeah. And man. But
putting you into a pretzel.
Everything I was doing was strength and just trying to show me all these little techniques. Like someone's got their legs around you and you're coming up and it's like elbows into their hip flexors as you come, little shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Like so much stuff going on, man. I'm so keen. I have to do it. Yeah.
I don't think I can think that fast on the go.
Well, that's the thing, right? So you don't think, right? You're just constantly training and drilling. So it becomes subconscious, like you walk or you run or whatever. Yeah. And man. But you do, when you watch like two black belts going at it, there is just so much shit. And it doesn't even look like much is happening, but there's so much shit happening in there. Yeah. And oh man, now I'm going to have to do it. You brought it up.
You do.
Yeah, man. No, I will. I'll do it. But I used to mountain bike too, bro.
Yeah.
I used to hit it hard, man. And then I got in Miami here, fuck, the crime was terrible, and got my bike stolen once, and I just never got back. I just got the insurance money and like bought a fucking car or something. But
they're not cheap, eh?
they're not cheap.
Not cheap at all. Like I built my one for myself, all custom, and it probably got up to 10 grand with me.
Yeah.
It's just all the stuff that you put on it. And then you spend all that money and you don't go any faster.
Yeah.
Like unless you're a pro, you don't really notice.
Yeah.
All these little things, and suspension set up is a big deal, but for us.
Yeah, that's right. Like back in the day, like you can still hook just with even when we didn't have all that shit, right? There was no disc brakes. They were like fucking V brakes or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
And even suspension wasn't like a massive thing.
Nah. I remember seeing the first suspension. I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. Heavy as hell.
Yeah.
The bikes.
Like I hadn't used a full suspension bike until 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it was in the rang and I hit a rock and I was like, I'm going over. Just went straight over and I was like, what's going on here? And then from then on I was hooked.
It is a game changer, right?
Yeah.
And just, but obviously because nothing's coming up, and your reaction is it's just so much more fluid. And and I don't even think I've ridden a freaking a decent dual suspension bike.
They'll buck you if you don't know how to preload and jumping and stuff. I'm not big on jumping.
Yeah.
But yeah, hooking into corners, that's where in New Zealand we're spoiled with tracks. Is where I'm from, Taranaki, is they invest heavily in mountain bike tracks because so many people do it.
Yeah.
A few of the iwis, they have invested in gondolas and stuff and created some amazing world-renowned tracks that people fly to.
Yeah.
And having the rang, which is all rocks and
shale,
if you come off, it's going to be pretty serious.
Yeah.
And in New Zealand, everything's nice clay, all berms. You can hook into it. It feels amazing. If you slide off, you're sliding through a bush and you're fine.
Beautiful lush green grass.
No snakes to
top
it off for you.
Oh, man, one of my good mates, Courtney, he snapped his collarbone when we were out once and up in Nerang, and it was the most just one of those little things. We were just whipping down tracks like there's no tomorrow, and then we just ease onto this little trail. Nothing. It's just this little rock sticking out. He just lifts his front tire of it. It just clips him, and he just rolls. And I'm just like, oh yeah, get up. And he's like, man, I just felt something click, and I was like, oh, and then had to walk him out of there.
Yeah.
Out through the shale and magpies swooping him. Yeah. True, man. True story.
Have you watched Ryan Williams at all?
Oh, maybe.
Nitro Circus, weapon of a human.
Yeah.
And I was watching an interview of him the other night, and he said, I've never broken a bone.
Oof.
And he's like a gymnast, Cirque du Soleil.
Wow.
On a push bike and a scooter.
Wow.
And he's like, I've never broken a bone. How is that possible? He just knows how to crash.
Yeah. Okay.
Just knows where to put his body.
Far out.
Yeah. He's got, I don't know how many X Games gold medals and...
Fucking Wolverine.
Yeah. He's special, man.
Yeah. Far out, man.
Yeah. It's quite often the little ones. And my brother broke his collarbone snowboarding twice.
Right.
And the second time he literally just plopped over and it was fully healed.
Yeah.
And he was gammy, and I thought he was joking. I just carried on down. Next thing I see him stretch it down. I was like, oh, sorry, bro. I thought you were joking.
Oh, shit.
It was the lightest little fall, but straight in.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Far out. So you don't get out much anymore?
It's not mountain biking?
Yeah.
No.
I've been, how's Nerang? Is it man, I used to go there every weekend.
Yeah.
I'd get up early, sunrise. And then when my bro Aaron was living up here as well, we'd both get up, we'd get out there, and we'd even go if it was raining, man. We used to love it in the rain. Yeah. And because it'd go a bit tacky, right? Yeah. And because it'd take a shitload of rain to come through the trees, but we used to love it, man. And it was so cool. But how is it out there these days? Is it?
Yeah, they stopped a bit of funding into there. And
right.
I think they shut down a few trails. There was a big hoo-ha about that as well.
Yeah.
Where they should be doing the opposite, man.
They should be. Well, I thought around the Com Games, they dumped money into it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they even, I think they had like a few school programs, like where you could do mountain biking and they'd all go out there and.
Well, it could be a major attraction for the Gold Coast.
Could be.
Like Tom Tate should go to New Zealand to Rotorua and see what they've done there.
Yeah.
Like throw a gondola in.
Yeah.
Like you'd get the cool thing about e-bikes. Like I'm not big on them, but the cool thing about them is getting probably 3 generations above that should be mountain biking are able to mountain bike because they can have the battery pushing them up.
Yep.
And the benefit I see of that is I'm unfit. So if I had an e-bike, I'd be able to do like 5 runs and have a great time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're the next level expense.
What are they worth? What, about 15 grand?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, like 7 to 15, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you build out a carbon bike, you're up around that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not fun. It's, a lot of money goes into them.
Yeah, I've been sussing out the old, like just the e-bikes, like probably just the cruisers. But then too, I look at the, what are they called? What are the dirt bike?
Oh, like the Surrens and stuff.
Yeah. I'll look at those and I'm just like, fuck, they look cool.
They're sick.
They are so cool, But they are, I think they're illegal, right? On the road, well, around even on the footpaths because they don't have pedals.
Well, I was
like push pedals.
Yeah. So where my clinic is, we've got the high school up the road and we've got the e-scooters and stuff. So I've got elderly blind clients coming in off the footpath. And I've had to go out there and rip them a new one. Like,
oh, man.
Mate, you can't be hooking through there. And then my daughter walks out on the footpath and she's blind on one side. So she just walks out, only sees that side, not here.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting, man, for it's going to happen. And after school, they're on their Surrens. I don't know how these kids afford them, though. Like, you hook those up to, like, 15 grand easy.
Yeah.
With all the upgrades they put on them.
Yeah.
But they're hooking past my clinic on the back wheel.
Bro, down the road. Down the highway here, man. They just take over, man. Just mad little rascals.
We're in LA.
Yeah, dude. I went for a push bike ride here all the way out to the Spit once. And on the way back, there would have been, 100 sounds like too many, but 50's not enough. So let's say 75 of these little fuckers just like literally taking over the road, man.
Yeah.
And they're just on the back wheel and they're just cruising around but like, I get it.
Oh, 100%.
Imagine if we had that shit when it, like, you know, our age, like, holy shit. Like, oh, man.
I mean, there's solutions, isn't there? Like, the Pizzey Park is completely packed every weekend. Yeah. And if you think of the amount of people that's getting out of the shopping centres being dickheads and stuff, and they're all at Pizzey Park, like, you get the council people calling you. Yes. So how do you feel about things? I was like, build another Pizzey Park. Yeah. Build another mountain bike track. Yeah. Because that's what all the kids are interested in. Yeah. And it's packed. Like, there's too many people at Pizzey Park now. Yeah.
And it's incredible how big that is, hey?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, why don't we build another one? Let's invest
Keep going.
Like, get a gondola up Nerang and get these things going for people. Yeah. We've got major issues with our kids. Yeah. And that's what I hate about me growing up rurally is I had a great upbringing with being able to go and do whatever. Yep. It was always on my own with my mates, not with a family sort of thing. But, you know, you were just left to go and do stuff that's harmless. Yeah. I mean, you're blowing shit up, but you're in the country. So
yeah, bro. I hear you, man.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I grew up in the country. Yeah. And I come up here, I talk to mates that grew up in like a metropolis upbringing. And I just thought everyone had these crazy fucking stories like we do. Yeah. And they didn't. And they look at us like their jaw on the ground. And I'm just like, oh, what did you do? Like, fuck. Like, yeah. You know. But, and yeah, I agree, man. I think, I definitely. And like this goes back to the whole AI, screens, all that sort of shit. It's just like, man, you're not going to stop it, but you need balance. And like these kids are going to need to have some sort of physical outlet, right? And so, fuck yeah, like build those fucking gondolas. Yeah. Get out there, Tom Tate.
Like the best thing, if I do something with my son that's not screen involved, is him to say, I love that. Yeah. I'd rather do that than be at home. Yeah. And that's my biggest thing about having them grow up in the city. Yeah. Is I'm like, man, I'm not having such a great upbringing doing what we're doing. Yeah. Like you do what you can, take them where you can in the weekends, but you worry about them after school. Can I go down the street? Yeah. There's a lot of weirdos around and shit kids.
It's different, man.
Yeah.
It's different, eh? That's, I heard once, I can't remember what I was just saying, like, I remember when we were little kids and our dad's friend, you know, he came and he picked us up and he was taking us home from school and we used to play corners in the back of the car, right? I don't know, do you remember that? You'd go around a corner and everyone would just like jam like over to that one side. And he's like, and I fucking remember, man, one day the door flung open and I flew out of the fucking car and I rolled on the road and I got there and I was all scratched up and stuff and my mate's dad pulled over and he comes over and he's like, "You all right, mate?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Get up, brush myself up, get back in the car, takes me home and then takes me in to see my parents and he's like, "Oh, fuck, what happened?" And he's like, "Oh, we're going around this fucking corner," and fucking flew out of the door. And they're like, "Oh, fuck, you fucking like this." And we're like, can you imagine today if someone come home and said that about your kid? Like, man, we are so precious. Like the test of the times now, man.
I had to do that the other weekend.
What's that?
So the neighbours' kids were playing.
Yeah. Oh, right.
And I was working in the clinic, getting an eye done. It was the weekend, and they were out the back and just watched Zombie Chicken or whatever it is. Minecraft.
Yeah, oh, shit.
So they were all big on it,
Yeah.
and they were starting to piggyback each other like the Zombie Chicken on the concrete.
Oh, shit.
And I said, "Hey guys, it's not a good idea." And I just left it at that. Where I should have put a stop to it. I was like, I don't want to be a party pooper. So I went back into the clinic. My son comes flying in. He's bawling, and I was like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Hunter's dead." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he couldn't talk. And my main thing in a situation of panic and stuff is just stay calm.
Yeah.
It's not going to help anyone. And I'm trying to teach him that. He just flies off his head. He's the flight.
Yeah.
So I ran downstairs and Hunter's knocked out and he had his sister on his back and he fell. Luckily he put his hand down, but his sister, I walk out and she's standing there with her nose grazed and pissing with blood, or her arm grazed. And then he's knocked out. So
How old is he?
So he's 10.
Okay.
And his sister's probably 7.
Hunter's dead.
And I'm like, I'm going to have to take these kids home looking like this.
Under your care.
And I haven't met their mother properly.
Oh,
so
shit.
I know their dad, Luke, and stuff. And I had to walk them home. And I was like, oh, man.
So he came too. You got him. Hunter came too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gave him water. Like it was bad.
Didn't like chip any teeth.
No, luckily, man. He was wearing a...
You would have been an orthodontist or a dentist next
Yeah, I
to
would
him.
be straight in the clinic.
Yeah, banging him up some teeth. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the worst. Like, back in the day, like you were saying, like, this happened.
Yeah.
And you'd have a laugh about it. And I'm always about, like, the lesson of it. Like, why did that happen? And there's the shittest thing just taken in, both bleeding, both bawling. So I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah.
So listen to yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay to say no. Yeah. No more concrete.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing though, mate. It happens, right? Kids. And I guess, lucky, like, God, I remember one of the lads we grew up with, he, like rollerblades. And I remember his mum, who's really good family friends, like we all grew up together. And she said to my mum, I do not want him on rollerblades. And my mum's like, yeah, okay.
She knew.
Yeah, she knew. And then all the kids get on rollerblades. He fucking stacks it, smashes his 2 front teeth.
Yeah.
And I was talking to his mum, like, what are we now? He's probably close to 40 as well. And I remember talking to his mum maybe 2 years ago, and she said, do you know, like, the remnants from that actual activity has only just sort of come to he had to get some final work done, and they feel like that's like the end of it. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, fucking good one, mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, man.
Costed a lot.
Yeah. They've said that. Like, she didn't go into it, but she did say it cost a lot of money and just a lot of back and forth shit, right?
Yeah. My boy done a similar thing at our friend's house swimming pool. He wasn't looking and tripped down into the pool, but uppercut himself, so split his chin, knocked his 2 teeth, so he's got one like grey tooth that we're praying stays in there. But my wife, in life, if you can find a partner who has a similar parenting style, you'll be sweet.
Yeah, right.
Like my wife and I, we're both pretty tough on the kids, and you know, my philosophy is right now at this age, I'm not there to be their friend. I'm there to guide them. And then when they're older, like, as long as if the shit's hit the fan during the day, at the end of the day, we can come together and say, I love you.
Yeah.
And I sit down with them. I'm like, this is why I've done that.
Yeah.
And they understand why I've done it. To me, that's parenting.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say no. As long as when they're older, when the hormones are flying and stuff, we can put all that into practice.
Yeah.
That's my theory. But, you know, being able to sit down and say, hey, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like, even though I was brought up in a Christian family and we were going to church and stuff, my parents still let me go to the parties
Live.
and like I was playing at parties with bands and stuff, and my dad would drop off at the bottle-o, grab me a six-pack, and he's like, that's all you're drinking.
Yeah.
And I respected that.
Okay.
So it was never taboo for me.
Yeah.
Like, my dad's an alcoholic, and for me, I'll probably get drunk maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't see how you could be an alcoholic, but a lot of people are.
Yeah.
But it was never a taboo thing. And it'll never be a taboo thing for my kids. If you're going to drink, drink with me. I'll make sure you and your mates are fine.
Yeah.
Don't go out to the casino and be dickheads and get a king hit or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, yeah. Like, my wife supports me through all of this crazy shit that I'm doing. Like,
That's great, man.
like I had a gym wear business when we were younger.
Yeah.
Mountain bikes.
Yeah.
And she always supports me, and she always says, I feel like I need to be your lead balloon sometimes.
Yeah.
But she never is. She always believes in me with everything.
Yeah.
And like, she's my North Star.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything that I do without her. And some of the shit that we do go through with our daughter, like, we're having a meeting with a lady the other night who is a coordinator for NDIS.
Okay.
And her son's autistic. And the statistics of parents who have a special needs child that are still together and broken up is horrendous.
Right.
So her partner's gone, and it's quite often the female that's left with the child, and men are weak sometimes when it comes to dealing with, you know, it's hard having a special needs child, but then you add the dynamic of parenting into that, and yeah, you need to be on the same page. She went to school camp last week, I think it was, and my wife comes home bawling, and I was like, what's going on? She said, I had to put her on the bus, and she just sat there on her own. No one said hello to her. Everyone just walks past her. And I was like, it's going to be like this for a while. Like, we've got to navigate it.
This is with your daughter?
Liberty, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
and this, because what, like, is this just recent?
Well, we've been waiting. We've brought her up pretty tough.
Yeah.
And if she's been bullied, she's always just gone, oh, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Walked off.
Yeah.
But now at her age of 12, she started realising, and we knew the day was coming. So she's dealing with bullying now on a personal level, like she's not able to brush it off.
Oh.
And then, yeah, I feel like she's almost a little bit, she's happy to be on her own.
Yeah.
But as a parent looking at your child and they're on their own, it's fucking heartbreaking, eh? It sucks.
Yeah, man. Oh God. What do you do? Like, you just, how, like, do you talk to her about it? Like, you're quite close with her and you chat about it?
She has this thing, she has multiple things. I think it's her ASD. So when you talk to her and ask her something, she takes it as offensively.
Okay.
So you can't directly ask her something.
Right.
So we, for the first time, have been coached on how to talk to her.
Okay.
So in the morning, it's a freaking nightmare. Like, a normal child's a nightmare in the morning to get going, but she is in Liberty World. So, yeah, we do talk to her, and there are times where I can sit with her and talk, and it feels freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But then most of the time, she just takes things offensively, and it's hard as a parent. Yeah. Because we're such busy individuals. Like, my wife is a registered nurse and an cosmetic injector. Right. So we hardly see each other. So we're very busy. Like, I'm doing drop off and pick up and all sorts. So trying to rush Liberty is almost a no-go. Yeah. But it's just learning her language.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to understand her, and then finding her thing. What's her thing in life? What she enjoy. That's the hardest thing as a parent, I think. Is
Yeah, bro. I think So I'm the same with our kids. Like you don't want to force them to do something. You want them to find something that they love and just immerse themselves in it, lose themselves in it, right?
Yeah.
And just there's so many life lessons in finding a thing and going into and exploring it and having fun with it. Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Finding your passion in life, in business, in work. Like I couldn't imagine working and not enjoying work.
Yeah.
Like what the hell is the point? Like,
I'm the same. I can't even fathom it.
Nah. But what percentage of the world does it, you know? I hate emptying the dishwasher every morning. I'm like, this again, bloody. Like, I hate that repetitiveness. Yeah.
Surely there's a 3D printer that can like design a crane and put that in there. And
spit that out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Just use paper plates, bro.
Well, I probably would if I didn't have my wife.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, parenting and then, business partners in business, like you and Luke together, relationships, you need to know how to fight.
Yep.
Yeah, that's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know each other's fighting language. Like mine is, I'll listen and then I want to go away and process.
Mm-hmm.
But my wife is, I want to deal with it right now.
That's most women, isn't it?
Yeah. But I've had to learn to keep my mouth shut. Like I'm not perfect at all.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, I've learned to keep my mouth shut and then talk later.
Yeah.
Where, because she wanted to process everything right then and there, I'd end up saying shit that I shouldn't have said. And
you're in the hole.
Yeah.
You're the one saying sorry.
I'm the asshole.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're sitting there like, how the fuck did I get here?
That's right. Yeah. You started this. Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, being able to fight healthily and then process things together has helped us with our daughter. Like we've been together almost 20 years now.
Yeah, wow. Congrats, brother.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
It's been watching our friends and stuff. Like, it's hard. But the pressures that we're under as humans now is massive.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so. I talk of late, it's come up a little bit where I'll ask, people of our parents' generations, like, was it this hard? Like, was it? They're like, no. It's so expensive. There's so much access to information and stimulus, and it's full on, man. Like it is very full on. But we choose to live in it too,
Yeah.
Like, there's reasons. Like I remember, when I was young, why the hell did my parents why do they come to Dubbo?
Yeah.
Right? Small country town in New South Wales. And I get it. I get the appeal now to places like that. Like, it's like time for your family, just a slower paced life. And, so it's, but man, gosh, I hear you, bro. Like, with your wife and how important and integral that role is to having, like, the same with me. Like, she's my first and foremost. And if nothing else matters, except our relationship, first of all. And I feel like if that's good, then everything else is good.
Everything else follows.
That's right. If everything else is amazing and that's bad,
doesn't matter.
That's right. And it's not amazing. It's so I think knowing that, it took me a while to really understand that. I'm the same. I've been with Leonie for about 20 years now.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to really understand that. But I hear you, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's no manual on how to navigate through this time. Like the worst we heard from our parents was we had to pay 22% interest on our home loan.
Yeah, that's right.
70,000.
Yeah, yes, yeah, that's right.
So now we're talking 1.2 million for a shitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've gone through the most financial changes and the most amount of opportunity, But we're also coming into that now too.
Yeah.
So we've got the boomers that are retiring but have no one to give their business to because their kids don't want it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a supplier that's a prime example. He's 82, working in the business that I buy from, and his sons aren't interested in it.
Yeah.
He literally brought a boy in to train him, to give him the business, and this boy left. I was like, what is wrong with that generation?
Yeah, man.
Like, and there's that many opportunities coming up for businesses, and he's still handwriting invoices and trying to email them to me and stuff. And I'm like, I could buy your business fully automated and it'd run itself. Like, so easy.
You ain't got the time, man.
No, I don't. No. Yeah, there's those opportunities coming up.
Yeah.
That I think in our generation is probably going to be the thing that the ones below us talk about.
Yeah.
So there is hope as far as that goes. Yeah, but we are navigating a lot of unknown things.
Yeah, man. I wonder if it's always like that though. Like, I wonder if, we're just sitting here today and we're talking about that, but our parents probably had the same challenges, and we'll always sort of look at it like that, and then our kids will be like, oh no, it's harder today, or whatever that is. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, can we imagine for our children what it's going to be like? Hey,
yeah. Oh yeah, that's an interesting one. Like the change. We have to correct ourselves. Yeah. For things to be better. Like, it's only going to get worse. Yeah. But who's going to do that? Yeah. What's your message, man, for your kids? Like, if you've got one message to give your kids, what is it?
Find your passion. Life is short, and I sit with my kids and I'm like, think about 2 years ago when we went to Australia Zoo. I'm like, how does that feel? Like, if you close your eyes and click your fingers, how does that feel? And they're like, a split second. And I'm like, so that's what life's like. So find your passion. With my wife and I, we have the same thing with schooling. Like, I failed everything, and then I found my passion, and then my careers that I've had, I've fallen into things that I'm passionate about each time, and been able to, that's fired me up enough to make money from it. And along the way, I've been blessed to help people. So if you find your passion, the schooling to me is not the most important thing. Like, I'm not going to push them. My boy, we had a massive argument about doing his homework in the morning. And then I drove off and I felt like shit. And I was like, man, it's not even that important. Half the teachers don't understand what they're teaching. Yeah. It's just like, we're taking the kids to America and Canada for a month. And that's all about us reconnecting, because it's a symposium for liberty. She's one of 60 in the world with all her complexes. Right. So she's in a medical study with scientists and stuff. So my wife's been busting her balls to pay for everything to go there. Oh, wow. So we're like, we might as well just take a month out. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but yeah. And try to reconnect with the kids and see what ignites them along that month, and kind of try to build from that. So it's awesome, man. Yeah. So good. When's that? When are you doing that? 24th of June. Yeah. I think. I'm probably wrong. It'll be everything. Like, we went to the UK 2023, my wife and I, and caught up with John and done a whole heap of shit. But I literally didn't listen to anything because I was so busy with her booking everything and stuff. So every day was like, hey, what are we doing today? Yeah. So, we're going to Loch Ness. Okay. It was like an adventure for me. So she's gone and booked everything. Like, we're going to Calgary and stuff. Yeah. And training to New York so Liberty can see the Statue of Liberty. Ah, yeah, right. She was conceived there and everything. Oh, really? Right? Really? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, right. Not at the statue. Yeah, right. I'm like, where the fuck? What? In New York. Oh, cool. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, so just reconnecting. Yeah. Find your passion, man. Yeah. That's most important, I think. Yeah. Awesome, brother. Bro, thanks for coming in, man. My pleasure. It's been great. I appreciate your time, man. This has been rad. I want to get you back in, and I want to do more, bro, with Oculus. Like, it's that's such a cool story, man. There's something so deep in there that you're doing, eh? And you're on the right path, eh? Yeah. it's just navigating through. But
yeah,
thank you.
You're welcome, bro.
Awesome.
Oh, I should do this now. Addy always wants me to get this shit going. Is it there? Oh, this one. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Still figuring this shit out. Ciao. Yeah, man.
Oh.
Get out of there, right? You're in the zone. Oh, that was cool, man. I'm gonna grab another beer.
I'm thinking, I'm like, fuck.